Hello everyone! In this episode, we start a new series where we will get to know the Jarls of Skyrim. The guest of our first episode is Elisif the Fair, wife of former High King Torygg, Jarl of Solitude, who was killed in a duel by Ulfrich Stormcloak, leader of the Stormcloak Rebellion. If you want to watch more informative videos about Skyrim, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy watching. Elisif the Fair is the beloved wife of Torig, High King of Skyrim, before his death at the beginning of the Stormcloak Rebellion. Following Torygg's death, she took his place as Jarl of Solitude, though the decision on who would assume the role of High King or Queen was delayed due to the outbreak of the rebellion. Elisif believed that the throne of Skyrim was her right, as High King Torygg's widow. However, she believed it best not to formally announce her intentions until the rebellion was quashed. She was a popular leader among her people, although some of her courtiers had concerns about her young age and inexperience, and believed she was under the thumb of General Tullius. She wears the unique fine raiment with a pair of unique cuffed boots and a copper and ruby circlet. She also carries a belted tunic, at least 28 gold, and an assortment of upper-class items, food, and gold. Elisif starts her day at 6 a.m. by getting up from bed to attend to her court. Her early court duties will be interrupted after just an hour, as the Jarl will break for a meal for the next hour of her day. From 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., she will return to managing the morning's court affairs. Once midday arrives, she will take an opportunity to visit her quarters for lunch for the next hour, afterwards continuing her court duties until 10 p.m. After the court closes for the night, she will retire to her room for the rest of the evening. Elisif may wander, eat, idle, or go to bed early, from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., but she will always go to her bed by midnight to sleep. After at least 6 hours of sleep, the Jarl will wake up to repeat her schedule once more. Elisif can be found in the Blue Palace located in the southeast of Solitude. The palace stands directly across and down the street from Castle Dur, the headquarters of the Imperial military forces in Skyrim. Elisif rarely leaves the palace for fears she will be attacked by a Stormcloak assassin, doing so only for rare occasions such as the wedding between Vittoria Vici and Asger Snowshod. Elisif was the wife of Torig, the High King of Skyrim, prior to the Skyrim Civil War. Elisif and Torig were in a happy marriage, wanting to enjoy themselves at parties such as the one at the Thalmor Embassy, and were affectionate to each other. Torig was loyal to the Empire, agreeing to the white gold concordat and enforcing it, though this caused issue amongst some of his subjects. It is unknown how Elisif felt about such matters, although since she does not worship Talos, unlike her husband, she was likely unaffected by the treaty. Following the killing of Torig at the hand of Ulfrich Stormcloak, Elisif was left grieving for her husband, as she became the Jarl of Hafingr-Hold. Following her assumption to power in Solitude, Elisif began to work in close cooperation with the Third Empire against Ulfrich Stormcloak and the Stormcloak Rebellion. Elisif's support of the Empire can be traced to several factors, with the largest being her anger at Ulfrich for the killing of Torig. Like many in Solitude, she believed this was murder. In addition to this, her husband willingly served under the Emperor, and although he might have considered an independent Skyrim, he was still subservient to the Empire until he died. The Empire also supports her to be the High Queen of Skyrim, seeing her as the successor to her husband. Due to her support, Solitude serves as the base of Imperial military power in Skyrim during the Civil War. General Tullius works closely with Jarl Elisif in his attempts to squash the Stormcloak Rebellion. Elisif has faith in Tullius and trusts him a great deal, to the joy of some in court and to the dismay of others. She also wants to be in the loop more often and commonly asks Falk to set up meetings between them. This Imperial support, along with Elisif's marriage to the last High King, makes Elisif the most likely candidate for the position of monarch should the Empire succeed in ending the Stormcloak Rebellion. Elisif herself supports such a decision, going so far as to call it her rightful place, while also not rushing to claim such a title until the war is over. However, Elisif's lack of experience and total dependence on Imperial support, specifically with regards to General Tullius, implies that Elisif will be greatly under the control of the Empire as High Queen of Skyrim, similarly to her husband under the Emperor. Elisif is sensitive to the death of her husband and is still mourning his loss. His death overshadows much of what she does, with her banning festivals such as the burning of King Olaf by the Bard's College as a result of this. Even in happy occasions, such as the wedding between Vittoria and Asgeir, she is a bit tense. When Vittoria dies, Elisif can only think of Torig. When not overshadowed by Toryg's demise, Elisif's demeanor is rather positive to those around her, and she has decent patience for disagreement and for what people say about her. Elisif is young and inexperienced, relying on Falk Firebeard to see to many of her duties. She is very receptive to the advice of her court, commonly asking her thanes for their opinion and usually listening to them. Elisif has little confidence in her abilities, and as a result, she is very impressionable. Elisif also still mourns for her husband, and thanks to this, her lack of confidence, and her rather amateur ruling skills, some in Solitude see her as an ineffectual ruler. Ulfrich merely refers to her as Toryg's woman, and goes so far to say she is a pet Jarl, clearly seeing her as nothing more than a pawn for the Empire. Despite all this, she does retain some respect, such as from Tullius, Falk, and Behrand. Falk Firebeard has even gone so far as to attempt to teach Elisif in the ways of statecraft, giving advice on politics as a whole. An outspoken supporter of the Empire, Elisif is a Jarl whose court views are to keep Skyrim as a province of the Empire of Tamriel. Viewing the Stormcloak rebellion as a blight upon the face of Skyrim, Elisif gives no explicit indication of any dissatisfaction with the Empire outside of wanting to speak with General Tullius more often. Elisif sees the war as a top priority, following Tullius's directives and submitting all resources she has to in order to defeat the Stormcloaks. With regard to religious views, Elisif states that she does not worship Talos, thus it is unknown how she feels about the White Gold Concordat. However, she nonetheless asks the Dragonborn to deliver Toryg's warhorn to a shrine of Talos near Whiterun, so that her late husband might have the funerary rites which he would have wanted. For High King Torygg was a worshipper of Talos even if she wasn't. We have come to the end of the first part of the Jarls of Skyrim series. In this episode, we met Elisif the Fair, the widowed ruler of Solitude. If you enjoy my videos and want to support me, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.